The wait is over. Today we're going to talk about Bring Her Back. Stay tuned at your own risk.
Ow! There's no wolves in this movie. I'm just a wild rascal.
Is this a metal thing?
Yes.
No taste.
David, what is this?
Pretty thick.
Great.
I have to kill a lot of people. Just tell me what you want me to fuck.
I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Oil me up, daddy.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers big tits. Mistletoe alert. This is backcountry.
This guy was a real jerk.
How long can Hugo be pregnant?
Chomp, 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 chomp.
Oh, I'm just such a dick, David.
Okay, everybody, put on your corpse handling gloves.
Ew.
Hoodie Picasso. Horror.
Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk. I'm Sydney Lee, and with me are my lovely co-hosts Bryce Hanson and Max Allen.
The rumors are true.
What are the
I'm
rumors?
bald now.
Didn't you do that on live?
Yeah, I did this on stream.
The rumors are true, guys. We're also a silly, goofy, but very serious horror movie review show. New theatrical releases always get priority, but we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Full video available on YouTube. Don't be a square. Make sure to share. Also, go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/horror movie talk. It's great. It's fun. It's good. Stop canceling on us.
Yeah, you know we get a notification directly to our phone when you cancel.
Yeah, it makes
It
me
hurts.
sad.
I'm
You
like
know?
at dinner with my wife and bzz, and I'm like, oh, I'll
All
just
right,
check
guys,
this real
don't
quick. It
seem
must be
desperate.
important.
Don't seem desperate. It's gonna.
Have we not ever been desperate before for patrons?
We're coming off as podcast incels.
Wow.
Pod
Well.
cells.
If you want to add your fee to the community pool, go to horrormovietalk.com or call 682-253-4468.
Everyone only just wants the alpha podcasts, you know?
Pod cells. I can't.
People are always leaving these dumb beta horror movie podcasts to go learn about being alphas.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to be alphas, guys. It's a work in progress. We don't
Would
want
you
to be
say I'm an
betas.
alpha male? Or would you say I'm more Sigma vibe?
Sigma?
No, you're a beta cuck.
I'm not a beta cuck.
We're all Sigmas,
Aren't
actually.
we all
so.
just deep down beta cucks?
No, I'm a lone wolf, dude.
Yeesh. I could buy that, actually.
You could buy. I don't know what that means.
He seemed normal, his neighbors will say.
Hey,
Jesus Christ.
for
No,
the
we're-
record, I'm not a mass shooter.
Yeah, it's hard to take you seriously when you're so dim in your basement.
If that's where you were going with that
in your
joke.
skinhead right now. It just
No.
worked with the joke. I don't think you look like a skinhead.
Listen, there's two reasons I could never commit a horrendous crime. The
I'm
first
glad
is
there's
because
two.
The first is because I don't want to.
Right.
The second is because if I were to go to jail, I would definitely be someone's bitch and be raped daily. So
Why does
it look wet? I don't like that it looks wet So I have to be on my best behavior at all times. Also, I don't want to commit horrible crimes. But if I did,
I think those are two really good reasons.
Okay.
I think those are the best reasons, honestly. But someone did commit crimes in the movie we're about to talk about, and I would like to get into it. So we've got a great show today. We're reviewing Bring Her Back. I know we're a week late on this. We all had stuff to do, but we're here. We watched it. We're ready to talk about it. We're going to give a brief review and our score. We score on a scale of 1 to 10. After we give the score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. And later we're going to do horror movie horrors, and we're going to hear from you guys. We haven't done
We
it in
haven't
a
done that
while.
in a while.
Yeah,
I
so.
didn't realize it goes back to the end of April.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
We
We've
probably
been
won't be able to cover
neglecting
all
them.
of them. But yeah, we'll listen to some voicemails.
We'll listen to at least some, and then the next time we'll listen to the rest. We always play them all. All right. So Bring Her Back is in theaters now, but it's probably going to be streaming soon enough. Maybe by this time you'll be able to rent it at home, but go see it in the theater. Support your local theater. Bring Her Back follows siblings Andy and Piper as they go into foster care after their father suddenly passes away. They are placed with a woman named Laura, who already has another foster child that seems a little bit off somehow. As the kids try to stick together to mourn their father, Laura is trying to deal with her own grief in a shocking and disturbing way. This movie makes you feel really bad. Like really, really bad. I think some movies are exceptional at making you feel bad with no reprieve. For example, Angst from 1986, High Tension 2003, Funny Games 1997. But in order to properly achieve a good feel-bad movie, there needs to be some TLC put into the filmmaking, and or the viewer needs to care about the characters, whether they are good or bad people. In this film, I didn't really see much of love of the craft put into the style of editing or shooting, and although I hated seeing the kids get hurt in this movie, I didn't care that much for the characters. Maybe that's due to minimal backstory, or maybe the script was not connecting for me. I'm not sure. That's not to say this isn't a good film, because it is a horror movie unlike I've seen in a while. It makes you feel really bad, and it is pretty original while also utilizing tried and true horror tropes. I wanted to cry at the end of this movie. There were a lot of times where I audibly said, "What the fuck?" It's insane, vile, sad, and creepy, but I just can't say it's amazing. It's more shocking than anything. It wants to shock, and shock it did. I kind of want to rate this higher, but I was just so baffled by all of it. And by the time something happens that I don't want to spoil right now, I really didn't want to watch it anymore. I truly think this may be an evil film, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
So what was baffling?
I just like it went there. It just went there, and then it went there again, and then it kept going there and kept going there, and I was like, whoa. Like I was like so tense. Every muscle in my body was just like seizing. Like I could barely breathe. But I just can't give it a higher score because I was just like, what's happening? Like what's going on? I don't know. Maybe I'll revisit this at some point, but I don't even know if I could watch it again. Like, it's really crazy. What about you guys?
Well,
You go first, Max.
Yeah, so when I watched this, I really got that feeling that this was something special. The kind of movie that we only get every once in a blue moon. And the directors, I forget their names, they're two brothers. They did Talk to Me, another phenomenal film. I watched that this week as well. And comparing and contrasting those two movies, their first film, Talk to Me, is more like, it has more, not like jump scares, but like loud in your face stuff. It's bright. You can visibly see everything. This movie is very dark. I was just thinking, this poster behind me, like, it looks so bright and colorful, but the whole movie looks more like what's behind Bryce, which is just dark, moody, sad. And I really vibed with it. It is an evil film, and that's cool. I actually did connect with the characters, even though I think their whole grapefruit thing didn't really land for me. I didn't care for them enough for them to keep saying grapefruit. Let's just say that. But I did care about them, and I thought they were good. Yeah, I don't know. It brings up like lots of questions about like how far would people go to you know, for their own kids, and what type of taboos would they break for that. Maybe the one criticism I do have of this movie is that it doesn't quite explain the ritual aspect enough. I really liked the ritual aspects. It was really good. But it kind of just leaves you being like, I guess this does this and this does. You kind of have to infer a little bit, which is fine. I just would have liked a little bit more, but I'm still going to give this a 10 out of 10. I think it's a phenomenal movie.
Wow.
The best one we've seen this year. And I have hope because I think there's other movies coming out. They're going to be 10 out of 10s too. So, but this was, I think this is the first 10 out of 10 I've given for a new release this year. And I really liked it.
I don't agree with the ritual stuff. I mean, we can get into it in spoilers, but I think it was explained enough for me.
Okay.
But like, I see what you're saying.
Maybe I'm just a dum-dum. Like I'm trying to watch those videos and be like, what's
you're
what's
like
going
taking
on?
notes.
Well, did you see the
Green.
captions on the videos?
The captions?
Okay, exactly. That's what I thought.
I'm not going to read while I'm watching a movie.
There were captions. You're correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
there was captions that explained the ritual, like step by step.
Well,
so we can get
got
that in the
me.
spoilers.
and that's on Grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
Yeah, so I really liked it. It is kind of a stew of every bad thing in humanity in this movie. Like lots of like stuff chucked in there. There's, trauma from physical abuse, emotional abuse. There's loss of loved ones. There's just being in the foster care system is pretty bleak sometimes. As well as, witchcraft, disability, like secrets and lies that you keep from your loved ones. There's just so many depressing aspects of these characters' lives just sprinkled throughout the movie that, yeah, I can see how, Sydney, your takeaway is, I feel bad because it's got a lot of that in it.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting because I think if I step back and look at the movie, the plot and the type of movie it is, I've seen about 1 million of these, and the difference is the execution really is a lot better on this one. Like, there's been some mediocre movies that are very similar in like subject matter and attempted tone. Maybe not as like extreme as Bring Her Back in terms of shock value. I think that's the exception here, is it goes a little further than most horror movies. But like, it reminds me of movies like The Boogeyman, or even like Night Swim. What's the ghost pool
The
movie?
Night House? Oh, no.
Night Swim is the
Night Swim, where it's
Wait,
got
is
a
it Night
lot of
Swim?
these kind of like
Evil Swim.
Yeah, Night Swim.
evil Night Swim. Part 2. Day of the Night Swim. So it's,
This actually reminded me of Cuckoo.
yeah, Cuckoo is a little more quirky though. Like it's like more high concept. Like, this is a pretty simple tropey horror concept where it's
Okay.
it's a ritual, it's witchcraft. People have ulterior motives. But the thing I'm bringing in from like The Boogeyman and Night Swim is it's about like family trauma, dealing with difficult things, and everything stacks onto each other. And the difference is like, yeah, the dialogue is better in this. It does enough of a setup to where you're not confused, and it gives you enough buy-in to the characters to where you're following along, and it doesn't feel like they're cookie cutter. But yeah, I think it's a relatively simple movie, just executed really well. And I disagree with Sydney. I do think like there is a lot of artistry for the editing and the photography in the movie. Like, I really like that they use this trope of being really, really out of focus and going into focus to try to replicate, what it's like for one of the main characters being, almost completely blind.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
But yeah, it's a really high quality, but if you step back, it's actually a very simple movie. I think the difference is like, yeah, there's some shocking scenes that are surprisingly simple. Like, it's funny when you look at horror movies and how much we try to like do these elaborate jump scares or these like, CGI'd monsters, compare how shocking and disturbing something like The Monster and Smile is compared to just seeing someone chomp on a countertop.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's all you got to do.
Stop.
Just have someone chomp down on a countertop. And you're like, fuck, I can't watch this. And you got to turn away. And I could just like sit and look at like the Smile Monster and be like,
No,
yeah,
see,
the
Smile Monster scared me. That Smile Monster's scary.
Yeah, the Smile Monster is scary, but I
and
agree
it's practical for the most part.
Yeah.
So
I agree that, yeah, watching someone chomp on a countertop is more effective than the Smile Monster.
Right. So it's very interesting. I really liked it. I think it's really, really well done. It doesn't like jump to like a 10 for me because I think this could definitely be lost in the mix, and it's not that unique when I think about it. But it is really high quality. I'd give it like a generous 9 out of 10. I really think it's high quality. I think it's another like A24 horror movie that will stand up. It's not one of the, the low quality afterthought A24 movies. I do think Talk to Me was better in a lot of ways.
This
I
is
can't remember
slower.
what I gave Talk to
For
Me.
sure. Like there's a little less going on. You're kind of just sitting in the feeling of this for a lot of it.
so awful.
Yeah.
I like Talk to Me better too. I was thinking about it and I was like, and Talk to Me, it's not like Talk to Me has a happy ending either. Like I was thinking about it and I was like, why do I like Talk to Me better than this one? And it's like, think I like the concept of Talk to Me better. Like it does have more like basic-y kind of jump scary kind of like hand coming in, like stuff like that we've seen a lot. But in Talk to Me, it's like, I think that concept is pretty much unique. Like the concept, it's not like super unique, but it's like the way that they executed it was really original. And I disagree with you, Bryce. Like, I think that this is a really unique concept. I know possession isn't unique, obviously. Like we've seen all these things before, but the way that it's executed is like, I think it's pretty original. And also, we never get Russian witches. We never get Russian witchcraft in horror. That was pretty original.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think something these guys are really good at is ritual. Like they're good at explaining the rules to something. Obviously I missed some of the rules for this one, but I inferred them, and laying them out in a way you're like, okay, I'm bought into the scenario here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think they're really good at that. I will say Talk to Me, I rewatched it this week and I think the latter half of Talk to Me is actually kind of boring, and I don't know why. Because like the opening is so crazy. It's so crazy.
Mhm.
And that fuels you for a while. And they have really good characters in it. So that keeps you going. And then the best scene of all is them just like playing with the hand and listening to
the
music.
montage with the
It's just so good. Like you're just absorbing that moment, and it's so good. And then the rest of the movie is kind of meh. But I really do like that movie still. But I think I like this one more, just because of how like dark and consistent the tone is the whole time.
Yeah.
It is very consistent. I think you don't, there is not a moment where you're like even with the opening scene of this movie, you're like, oh, what am I about to watch? Like when it first started and then it did like the title card, I was like, I'm gonna have a bad time. Like,
yeah, I went into it with everyone telling me like, buckle up and that you're gonna leave feeling miserable. And to be honest, like after I left, I texted you guys and I said, well, at least it had a happy ending, which honestly, the ending could have been so much worse. There's so many angles they could have taken with the ending that would have made it much more hopeless and dour that they.
I kind of hoped they would go there.
I know. I thought. I'll tell you what I assumed the ending was going to be for most of it. And it didn't do that.
We don't. Oh, I thought you were going to say it now. I was going to say, wait, we should wait to say that.
I've been doing this for a while, Sydney. I know when the spoiler section is. Okay, so I think we all liked it to varying degrees.
I did like it. I want to say that I didn't not like it. Like, I just can't give it a higher score because I've been trying to forget it ever since I watched it. Like, I was so
that would make me give
scared.
Me give it such a higher score. Like, if it sticks with you, that means it's effective.
I don't know. Like, it was so weird because, like, I don't listen, listeners. We do this every week for the most part. Like, we watch horror movies every week. I feel like I've seen fucking everything, Maybe I should give it a higher score. Maybe you're right. I don't know. It's just, it was so complicated because it took me a while to fall asleep that night because I was trying to forget about it. And then I woke up at 4 a.m. and I didn't fall back to sleep till like 6 because I thought Oliver was going to fucking walk in my room. I was like,
let's be honest with ourselves here. What score did you give Red Christmas?
Oh, I don't remember. What did I give Red Christmas? I don't remember.
I think it was high. So I would start basing your reviews off of that metric of.
Let me see.
You gave it like an 8.
That'd be crazy. I gave it a 7.
Yeah. So this and Red Christmas are on the same level to you.
No, fuck. You're right.
The metric is broken.
No, but like, I think the thing is that I'm always going to compare movies, like evil movies, like quote unquote, which I think this is an evil movie, to Angst. And I think Angst, I don't think you guys have seen that. Angst.
I pronounce it Angst.
Angst. It is a German movie, so it's probably Angst. But that, I don't think you guys have seen that. We should definitely do it. That is like a truly, truly despicable, evil movie. But the way that it's made is just like, I don't know. There's just so much in it that that's a perfect movie to me. So when I see that, or like when I see a movie like High Tension, which I really, really love, even though the plot is a little wee-woo, the way it's made is beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful, haunting, terrifying movie. And this is like, okay, yeah, coming off the success of Talk to Me, let's do another possession kind of movie, and let's just make it fucked up, so fucked up. And everyone loves this movie, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I think I need to think about it more. I don't know.
I mean, if you didn't
take your
vibe
time
with it as much,
there's no reason to come to a conclusion now while we're recording an episode on it.
I did my review.
I think if you didn't vibe with it, as much as us, there's no reason you need to.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to shame you into a higher
fine.
score. I'm just, I'm surprised you like it as much as Red Christmas.
I'm surprised that I mean, different reasons. Red Christmas is a bad movie.
I think Sydney just doesn't like movie with people with disabilities in it, and it's never gonna go past a 7 if there's.
It's so fucked
Sydney's
up.
a real ableist.
No, I'm not. Stop.
Red Christmas is like a full blown anti-abortion movie too. Like it's a bizarre pick for.
It's an anti-abortion like. with like a serial killer that's disabled. It's actually DEI if you're like thinking about it. That's a true DEI movie,
and that's why it gets a 7.
It's so good. No, my metrics are off most of the time. But okay, I want to start talking about this movie though in earnest. So if you're listening to these commercials, you don't have to. You can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/horrormovietalk. We have a lot of fun over there. We're recording our pretentious review right after this. So if you want to sign up for the 3 spoopy 5 me, is it that one? Or is it we all spoop for I spoop? I don't
That's
know.
one of them.
It's the $25 tier. If you sign up for that, you'll get a pretentious review every month. And that's just an extra review. And it's not a completed episode like this, but we kind of get more free reign on it and get to talk about our pretensions, which is really fun.
And this month we're doing a Slumber Party Massacre, just for everyone who is interested in that.
Written and directed by women, by the way. So we love women. I thought so. Also, go to our website, horrormovietalk.com, to check out our shop. We got cool sweatshirts and shirts and stickers and all that jazz. We got really cool stuff over there. We also have like a whole website. Like there's so much stuff to look at on there. If you want to know more about us, about what our favorite movies are, we have our bios on there. It's all
You know
fun.
who else has a whole website?
Who?
Bryce Steven Hansen.
.com.
Actually, I have BryceHanson.com now.
You bought it
got
from
it in
that
a
guy
coup.
who gave it to his nephew.
Yeah, it lapsed and I
That's awesome.
snatched it up.
I'm proud of you. BryceHanson.com. Check us out on LinkedIn. No. But also check out our resident artist, Dustin Goebel. He's the best. We love him. He does all of our thumbnail art on YouTube. He does all of the art for our episodes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all the stuff we post on Instagram and Facebook. All that stuff. He does all of it. He's amazing. He takes commissions from HMT fans. So contact him on Instagram at DGOEBEL00 and make your artistic dreams come true. Tell him that we sent you. And again, we're doing horror movie horrors after this, so we're going to need more voicemails. So call us 682-253-4468 and leave us one. Thanks for listening. Let's get into spoilers.
My camera is matching the mood of this film. I'm so dark.
So I like I said before we were recording, I didn't take notes during the movie, and then I took them last night. So I was like Wikipedia also, just for the plot, because I forgot exactly how everything goes. But I was talking about the opening scene when we were doing our reviews, and yeah, the opening scene is just this really scary camcorder ritual, like people fucking getting hung and there's a salt circle and there's like scary faces and you're like, what? Like, I don't know about you guys, but that being the opening, I was like, oh fuck, like, oh my God. And they were speaking Russian too, so you're kind of like, what's about to happen here? Like, what does this have to do with the movie? It's a very scary opening scene.
It reminds me of the opening of Sinister.
Which is also a very scary movie.
That is a scary movie.
It's very scary. So then after that, we get like the title card, and then there is a blind girl at a bus stop, and she like tries to talk to these girls, and they're making fun of her, which is awful. And then her brother comes up and is like, she's like, did they like me? And he's like, yeah, of course they did. And she's like, don't lie. And then they get home, and the shower's on, and their dad's not answering, and then he's fucking dead on the ground. Okay, what?
And he's hung as hell.
You do see his dick. You do very much see his dick. That was a really gross death scene. Like, you don't see him die, but he like asphyxiated or something. Like, it's pretty nasty. And it's pretty sad because
I assumed he had like a heart attack or something.
It was complications with chemo. That's what they said. There was like a line saying that he had cancer, and there were like Andy says, like in passing, oh, I thought like the chemo, I thought he was in remission or something.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't even catch that part. That was another layer of.
It was like a background. You know when they do like the talking in like the background and there's other stuff on screen? That's what happened. It was right after he died. But the saddest thing about this is that Andy is seeing his dad dead, and he is obviously in shock, so he is not explaining it to Piper, and Piper is blind. So Piper can't see what is going on, and then she has to feel around and then finds her dad's dead body, which is very, very sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I saw it and I thought, oh, he slipped in the shower and hit his head and died.
Well,
that's
the most embarrassing way to die.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I thought that Andy was scared of the shower, because he's like, oh no, I'm going to slip and die.
Well, yeah, I think that is why he was. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He's like, I got to get a slip mat.
Yeah.
I have a slip mat in my shower.
It's responsible. Hey, take care of yourself.
Especially when
I'm saying slipping and hitting your head on tile and dying, and then everyone finds you naked with the shower still running. Very embarrassing way to go.
You're all pruny and like it's gross. Like
you got a big boo-boo on your head.
So then they go to foster care, and the woman is like, okay, we're gonna place Piper with this lady, but she doesn't want you, Andy. And Andy's like, what? No, I have to go with my sister. And then they say they hint that he was like a troubled kid. And you know, when they come back around to talk about how he was a troubled kid, why did he get in trouble when he was 8 for hitting his sister? Why did the parents like call the cops on him? That just doesn't make, like, how bad did he hit her? You know what I mean? I thought that was
I didn't even know an 8-year-old could be in trouble in the legal system.
That's what I thought. I thought that was a very weird thing, you know?
I mean, it sounds like the family probably had more than one run-in with Child Protective Services.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe it's just on his file.
Okay, so it's more of like this was recorded in our CPS database, not
because he's not 18
you went to
yet.
jail as an 8-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, what? Like,
it wouldn't be expunged from his record.
Yeah, he's gonna be 18 in a few months, so like they can't just, you know, give Piper to him and have them live together. So for a few months, they're gonna need to be in foster care, and he promises to be on his best behavior.
Both me and Max have been foster parents before.
True.
Yeah.
I was very briefly, not for super long, but I was. So it's a unique experience for sure.
You guys didn't do this though, right?
Do what?
You didn't do the whole
sacrifice my foster child and bring back a
dead person?
No.
Okay, good.
No, I mean, actually, it's interesting because I wonder whether this is pro foster care or anti foster care. I'm probably leaning on anti.
How can you be anti foster care? I mean, the kids need to go somewhere. What's the alternative?
I don't know if it really has a stance on foster care as much as it's just kind of a vessel for storytelling and to show that this lady is crazy. And it
is a cool element to add into a story, that it's not like, okay, they go to their uncle's house or whatever. Well, I think they do say an alternative, because when the caseworker is talking to Andy, she's basically saying like, and we'll put you in a house by yourself or something like that. Or
it's like a group home. He was going to go into
group
like
home
a group
or something like that. So there's, you know, worse alternatives than foster care, but
I'm just now realizing
I think foster care is either like you're a family that like has the best intentions and like want to share like a loving and stable home with kids in need, or you want to get that check from the foster care system. and there's a lot of in between there. So I think,
which is crazy
overall,
because when we did foster care, I feel like we spent way more money than we were being given on the kid. Like, just so much money to like get toys and a bed and bedding and clothes, and it was like, how is this money supposed to take care of?
I think the thing is with people who just want the check, they don't spend money on the kids and they borderline abuse them by not getting them sufficient food and clothes and bedding and stuff like that. Like,
well, it's also they're dealing in like bulk operation. There's like houses
Yeah.
that have 10 rooms that
Right.
just filled with foster care kids.
It's so fucked up.
You know, I'm just now realizing how much I actually relate to the premise of this movie, because when we did foster care, we only did it for like a month. And I really loved it, but we just did it too soon after losing our baby. And so my wife was like, I can't do this right now. So we stopped doing it. But yeah, like struggling to foster a kid while you lost a child is like a pretty similar situation to what we were going through.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
Well,
that's so interesting. I mean, I'm
we-
glad you didn't go the Laura route with it. But
yeah. Well, our baby only grew to be like this big. So if we brought her back, she wouldn't
Yeah.
have been, you know, as good at swimming as.
So
what's her face.
yeah, when I did it, we weren't even looking to get in it. It was just a friend from church that knew that we were getting prepared to give birth to our first, and was like, well, you guys are. He just felt like we could probably do it, and it was a short-term thing, but similar situation. Like it's very, very common for, you know, brothers and sisters to be split up. Like it's very rare that someone wants to take on multiple foster kids at the same time, and so it's actually really common. And it's not like they can demand, you know, like to not be split up. So that was kind of interesting. And but yeah, it was a good experience overall, but you realize the stress of having to take care of someone especially when you haven't done it before. Anyways, I thought that was an interesting element. And yeah, so they come in and
there's the weird bald little kid
yeah, there's a weird bald little kid.
who's, you know, holding the
He looks
cat.
just like me.
He's so. So the thing is with the movie poster and it says bring her back, I always thought this was a little girl.
I thought so too.
And so I thought that was her, but it's not. It's a little boy and they call him Ollie, and he is another foster kid, but he's like really fucking not normal. Like he's just like, you know, they let the cat out by accident and then the kid's like holding the cat in the empty pool, like gonna eat it ? Like what's happening? And then they like get it out of his hands, and then he's just really weird. And he's mute, she says, and quote
And he
unquote,
never wears a shirt.
yeah, he, for some reason doesn't have clothes on, and there's a thing where like sometimes Andy does little white lies to Piper to make her feel better about what she's seeing and stuff like that. So like with those girls, he was like, oh yeah, they definitely liked you. And like with Ollie, like he says, oh yeah, he's giving you a big smile or something like that. And then Laura chimes in and is like, oh, he has curly red hair. And you're kind of like, why did she say that? Right. And you're like,
Yeah,
why?
it takes an innocent little lie to make her feel better about this awkward situation and turns it into, wait, now we have to keep up that this bald kid has bushy, curly red hair. Like,
yeah, what if she
what are we
touches
doing?
him? Like, what if she
Yeah.
touches him and that comes back later? Because it's like, how the fuck is she going to figure out where anyone is or where anything is without touching it? Because she doesn't use her cane. So it's like, it's a very like, you're immediately put off by Laura when they come into the house because she's very dismissive of Andy because she really didn't want him there. She gives him basically a nothing room. It's like a back room that's like shit. There's not even fucking sheets on the bed. And she gives Laura her dead daughter's room, which is very pretty and nice and pristine. And you find out that her daughter was blind and drowned in the pool.
So I got
Interesting.
I got a correction and observation.
Okay.
Oh.
First of all, Ollie is not a foster kid. He's, I think, Laura says that he's a nephew or something. It's not her son, but it's like a nephew. They're related. because like he was. I'm pretty sure that that's correct, right?
Well, I know what happens later when you actually find out who the real Ollie is.
Right, right. But
so
Oliver,
maybe
like,
maybe
the-
you're
no, you're right.
Ollie is supposed to be is
the nephew.
the nephew of Laura. We
Yes.
find out that that's not true. But the story is Ollie went mute after seeing the daughter die. I can't remember what the daughter's name is.
Kathy.
After seeing Kathy drown, he went mute and he was traumatized by it. So he was already there before they had foster kids.
Oh.
So supposedly.
I don't think
and-
she's ever fostered anyone before.
Well, she fostered. Well, oh yeah,
She
that's
was
true.
in the foster care
She was
system
like
for
a-
20 years, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was a
caseworker or
caseworker.
something. Yeah.
Actually,
So
she's a
any-
therapist working with the.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Foster kid.
And then the other thing, like I do think it's a really important scene when Laura does the white lie to what's her name? Piper. Because it establishes, so like what's established with the bus stop is that Andy will tell white lies to just spare Piper's feelings.
But then
Like,
they
he's-
have the grapefruit thing. So if she really needs the truth, she says grapefruit and he will be honest with her.
right.
Like they don't, like he's only lying to, yeah, exactly. Spare her feelings. It's never about serious stuff.
Right. And then when Laura does it, she kind of does a wink and a smile to Andy to where it's like, well, first of all, she doesn't get it. She doesn't get what this is for, to spare feelings. But for her in that moment, it's like sharing a little like practical joke or just like, haha, she's blind. What's she going to do? You know,
Yeah,
kind of
we
thing.
could
Where it's-
lie to her all we want. She's blind.
Yeah, it's a little like, oh, we're just having fun now. And Andy is like put off by it because it's like, no, that's not what this is about. This is just to make her feel comfortable, you know, because, you know, going to a new house after your father died and you're blind, probably what you don't want to hear is like, oh, what's he look like? He's a creepy little bald kid that's staring at you all the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, that is creepy and off-putting. Like, that's going to be in the back of my mind all the time. But if you think it's just like, oh, he's a cute little kid, you know, and you're like, okay, this is nice.
Right. But yeah. And then after that, Laura is like trying to be nice to Andy, but at the same time, she's like, it's unclear what her intentions are. She really loves Piper and she's putting all of her attention on that. But then she like settles Andy into his room and he's like texting his friend about, oh, there's some fucking weird little bald kid here. And she's like, what are you doing on your phone? He's like, nothing, because he's a teenager. Why? Like, you know, he's just being an asshole. He's like, nothing. Why do you care? And then he like turns around to do something, I forget, and she's just on his phone. Like, and him like snatching it out of her hand. Like, I didn't see that as like an overreaction because that is, you just met this woman. Like, she is already going through your stuff. And then the way she reacts to him being like mad at her is almost like performative, in my opinion. Like when she freaks out, she's like, oh my God, you're so scary. It's like, he's a kid. Like, he's not an adult.
Well,
like,
I
There's this
think-
dynamic where, you know, it's been established that one of the reasons why they didn't want to take on Andy is that in his file there was some kind of violent event that happened. He was a troubled kid because of some event that happened when he was much, much younger, like 10 years ago. And so they warn him like, hey, you know, she's going to take you, but you know, it's kind of a probationary period. Be on your best behavior, especially if you want to get custody of Piper
right.
in a couple months when you turn 18. And so it's this dual,
Like she's doing it on purpose to provoke him, right? Like,
Well,
is that,
she
I
doesn't
mean, I
want
don't
him
think
to
we
get
get that
custody.
at this point, but the whole thing is like he's trying to act on his best behavior, but also react naturally to a situation where someone's invading your privacy and being kind of a dick to you.
So
And also-
I think Sydney's right. I think she is trying to provoke him intentionally, even in these early scenes, because number one, she knows the ritual will be easier if he's gone. And if he's seeking custody in 3 months, she can't kill the kid, like there has to be a kid around. So she needs to have him gone, like either out of the house, or he definitely can't get custody. So she's faking instances of danger. Like when he grabs the phone, she like launches back and like throws herself against the wall.
Yeah, he doesn't touch her. He just grabs the phone. Like, yeah, and that's interesting because like obviously we don't know that is why she's doing this at this point. Like we're just kind of like, what the hell? But then later we find out she's actually is actively doing all these things.
Right. Yeah, she's gaslighting him and actively like.
Just started pouring. Let me shut my window. Hold on.
She's actively doing stuff that makes him appear unstable and disturbed and not, a good parent. So like she's a little weird. Like I'm not quite sure what the strategy is because the first time it's revealed that she has ulterior motives with how she's treating Andy is it's revealed that she is pouring her own piss on him to make him think that he's peeing his bed.
I couldn't even believe that because like the first time he does it, like this first night is like he seems really embarrassed and he just like throws his stuff in the wash. So I was like, does he do this? Is this like something, you know what I mean? Because you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like he wakes up and he's not like shocked, really.
I mean, if you see your dad dead laying on the floor, like it could happen. Like people have like traumatic responses where they pee their bed all the time, even as an adult. Like it's something some people have to work through. So it could be that like, it just was a natural, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think from his reaction, you can tell like, what the fuck is this? Like he was surprised. It's not a normal thing for him. But I had assumed that Laura was drugging him and that she was just.
She is drugging him. I saw this on Wikipedia. I didn't catch it in the movie, but she is drugging. She is putting some shit in his protein shaker. And then
I assumed that, but I didn't see her doing it ever.
She takes it at some point, but you don't see what she does with it.
Okay.
There is a scene where she does take it.
There's a scene where she dumps out it's creatine, which, by the way, important to know, creatine is tasteless. So if you swap it out with something that doesn't have a strong taste, you're not going to notice. It's just white powder that's tasteless.
Also, when you're 17, you shouldn't be taking creatine. You're too young.
Creatine's probably fine. But there is a scene where she dumps out the creatine and then he's later scooping out. So I guess you could assume there that she put something else in it.
Yeah, I remember that happening, but like it's not explicit like they show you, she does something. But this is so she can drug him so he sleeps very soundly so she can pour piss on him. Like
drugging someone's
crazy.
creatine is actually a really good idea because you usually mix creatine with like a flavored thing. Man, it's just so masked. You can put whatever you want in someone's creatine.
Yeah, so I mean, I had assumed that she was drugging him, and I guess that makes sense because he really is out. Because she's able to pry his eyes open to get the face cam, unlock feature on his phone, which is like, well, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I was like, wait, he would totally wake up. Because she does it like, she's like, dude, like, it's like.
But,
well, there's also a part.
So she's essentially pissing on him
in
his sleep, which, what is the purpose of that? I mean, what's the long game? Just to fuck with him?
She's trying to like make him have a psychotic break because like he's already grieving. He saw his dad dead. Like it's really traumatic. So now she's drugging him. She's fucking with him. She's doing all of these things. And especially when it comes to a head when he falls in the shower and goes to the hospital, she's talking to him like she's trying to make him crazy. So
Yeah.
he will go crazy and then make it look like he committed suicide or something, right?
Well,
they're-
she's also
maybe that's
using
the
it
end.
against him in the foster care system because there's a part where he goes to his caseworker and he's like, this lady is crazy. And she's like, well, she says you've been wetting the bed. Like, is that true?
Yeah.
And so like, it's just another thing that she adds on to his record that's like, this kid has problems.
Yeah, can't let him have custody. He's still peeing his bed. You know,
What a little baby.
oh, bitch.
I actually
Yeah.
did. Have you ever peed your bed as an adult?
No.
I don't like think full on wetted, but I've had like definitely like catching myself dribbling. You know, if I have like a dream where I'm
I
taking a
full
piss.
on. I actually wasn't quite an adult. I was 17, and just once, like I woke up just peed all over the bed, and I was like, "What happened?"
Yeah.
Were you like hungover or like it was
No,
just
I was a kid. I just went to
Wow.
bed. Woke up
'Cause, I
on a
mean,
Saturday morning feeling fresh, and I was wet.
Because in college, like, there were guys that I knew that would be like wicked drunk and they would like piss the bed. Not in my, I never saw it happen, but they would tell me about it. I'd be like, that's crazy. Like,
And then I had to go to my mom because I didn't know where the extra sheets were, and I was like, "Mom, I don't know what happened.
I wee weed.
I don't know. I peed the bed. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry."
Yeah, if I started peeing in my sleep, I would immediately wake up. I'd be like, I think I'm always like on the edge, you know, of like waking up. I think most of the time where I'm gonna pee myself is like when I'm having one of my recurring dreams where I'm walking around a giant bathroom because I really need to go to the bathroom. And so subconsciously my body's telling me to wake up and go take a piss. I'm like,
Oh my God.
but I'm in dreamland. I'm in like this. This is like one of my favorite recurring
You're
dreams.
walking around a giant bathroom like you're
Yeah.
a doll?
No, it's like a massive
Like the
like
back rooms, but it's a
gymnasium
bathroom.
and it's like labyrinthian. It's like would not exist, you know, in the real world. It's like a back rooms bathroom, you know. And sometimes there's water features in it, you know. There's like a wading pool, or like, you know.
You're at like a fucking bathhouse.
It's like a spa. Yeah, it's like basically like a bathhouse bathroom. And the thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find like the stall farthest away from anyone, you know,
Mhm.
in the dark recesses of the labyrinth bathroom. And it's just never private enough, or the bathroom
Oh,
or the
man.
stall doors are not on. That's
Sounds like
Okay.
Silent Hill. Like
this might be a millennial thing. Max, did you have stall doors in your high school and like public school bathrooms?
Yes.
Like the bathrooms in public school when I was growing up, not in high school, but like elementary and middle school, it was this like dystopian thing where none of the men's bathrooms had stall doors.
that's horrifying.
And they never had soap. And when they had it, it was like the powder soap. That was, anyways, I feel like I'm taking an old man rant.
Well, can I have an old man rant real quick? Because
Yeah.
I think this is the perfect scenario to ask this question, because we have Sydney here who is the same age as me, so we can
That's true.
we can judge things, and Bryce is a little bit older, and so he can tell me where my future's headed. I have to get out of bed to pee 2 to 3 times a night.
Oh my god, dude. It's fucking so annoying. It's like you wake up in the middle of the night and have to piss, and it's like, can I just sleep? Can I just
And that-
fucking sleep?
That
please?
only started happening the last like year of my life. I've never
this
had
has
to
been
do
like
that.
this has been like forever for me. I've always been like this. It's awful.
It's
but I
ridiculous.
drink
I'm
a
not
lot of
even-
water.
I'm not even like chugging water before bed. Like I'll have no water before bed, and then I'm waking up with the fullest bladder like 2 hours later.
I think
Where is
it's an
the pee coming
anxiety.
from?
I think it's an anxiety thing. Like I truly think it might be an anxiety thing because I know like a lot of people that does not happen to. A lot of people can literally just sleep through the night. And I'm just like, okay, but you don't wake up 3 times and then you have to pee every time. Like, I don't know. I think it's a nervous thing for me, but it's really aggravating. I wish I didn't have to do it. I should like take some sleeping pills or something.
Three times is nuts. That's crazy.
Okay,
I mean,
maybe
I'm in
like
my
2
40s, so
times.
it's pretty normal for old guys to have to wake up to go pee. I think like it's relatively normal for me to have to get up once, twice max. Twice that would be like I
I'm
was
probably
chugging
exaggerating.
something
It's
right
probably
before
more
bed.
once or twice, but
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I just like, but it is a nervous thing for me. Like if I, like I'll go to the bathroom in social settings, even if I don't have to pee, if I just need a minute, you know,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Well, anyways, piss plays a role in this movie. So, so Laura's fucking with the guy.
Yeah. But before all this, there's the funeral, right? So they go to the funeral, and the most notable thing in the funeral is that Andy won't look at his dad, and Piper's like, how does he look? And he's saying grapefruit, he looks great, but he won't look at him. And then Laura like calls him out on it and is like, you need to go look at him. And Piper's like, you lied to me, whatever. So
Yeah.
Laura and Andy go up to his father's corpse, and Laura's like, the soul is still in his body. You need to kiss him on the lips. All right. Let's back the fuck up.
this
Ew.
part was so uncomfortable.
Ew.
Yeah.
You fucking disgusting bitch. At this point, I already knew something was up with her. At this point, I was like, fuck this woman. She sucks. This is so weird. You do not kiss a dead body, babe. An embalmed body of your father. I don't know why you would do that.
You can, but to like plant one on
to
the lips
force-
is a little much, I think.
This woman who met you 3 days ago is forcing you to kiss your dead dad on the lips.
Well, not
What?
Yeah,
only
this is
that,
one
but
of
then she
those
goes
that's-
in for the real juicer.
and she does it.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. And then she cuts a piece of his hair off.
Yeah. I think this one kind of delves into the realm of less than believable, to where if you're a 17-year-old kid and some like stranger,
Yeah, I'd be like,
bitch
all
is
right,
being
bitch,
like,
shut the fuck
kiss
up.
your dad, you have to, it's the ritual, it's tradition. Just be like, bitch, it's not my tradition, it's my dad, get off me.
You're right. Like it's like,
Yeah, I don't think there's any strong, unless there's some like strong Australian like tradition about kissing dead bodies that I am not aware of. But
I would
it
say
seems
the
like,
only thing that makes it somewhat believable is like he's obviously very traumatized in the moment. Like he's like freezing, right? He
Right.
is having trouble managing this moment, and she
Yeah.
takes advantage of that to kind of force him to do something, kind of just to fuck with them, honestly.
yeah.
yeah.
And then the important part is like establishing that Andy is gonna still lie after grapefruit is incanted by Piper. So Piper like
Incanted.
says, tell me the truth, and he still doesn't because he's
But again, he's valid for saying that, like, for the lies that he is telling.
mhm.
I do not think there's an issue with him saying he looks great, Piper. Grapefruit,
Well,
he
that's
looks
true,
great.
but I think the issue is if you're going to have a word
a
that's
safe
like,
word, yeah.
we
Yeah.
always tell the truth with this word. It only works if you always tell the truth, regardless of
Yeah.
the benefits of lying. So
Like, now we gotta have a new word. Now we gotta do pineapple. Like, god damn it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of words, new HMT lore, we have a word now.
Yeah, we have a safe word.
Oh, I
For-
forgot. I forgot
Yeah.
about it.
Do you remember the safe word?
yes,
Sydney?
yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Uh,
But anyway, so like they go to the funeral, and then
It's grapefruit,
afterwards,
by the way.
It's not grapefruit.
Laura
Imagine if it
turns
was.
into cool mom and is like, let's Andy get drunk.
She
and-
is so bizarre. Like, this is so bizarre. Like, this movie is so bizarre. Like, when this happens, I was like, no, she's so bad. Like, she's already bad, but this is even worse. You can't just do this. Like, you can't
I think what it establishes at this point is Laura is kind of unhinged and unstable.
She's
and like,
super crazy.
Yeah. So,
especially hard liquor. Like, if you let the kid have a beer at 17, fine. But she's like, let's just drink a whole bottle of whiskey and vodka and tequila. I'm like, girl, what the hell?
Yeah, I think there's even some room to be like, you're a teenager, you're with your parents, and they're like, they give you a one shot.
Sure.
And it's
yeah.
There's parts of me where it's like, they're teaching their kid to drink responsibly around people in a social environment and not have very much. It's not, it's not a terrible thing, but
yeah, but when your foster mom is like, shots,
like, because it's so strange because like at Christmas and like holidays, like my dad would let me have a sip of his wine or a beer like every now and then, and like me and my cousins would like sneak off with like 2 fucking Smirnoff Ices and pretend we were drunk or whatever when we were like 16, 17. But like, this is a whole other level of that. Like, once I got into college, I could drink at home like regularly, but like I couldn't take shots with my family. They would let me drink wine and beer, like no hard liquor. Like, it's so bizarre. It's so wild. And then they have this whole party, and Piper's like, what, 12? How old is she supposed to be? Like
11 or 12. Yeah,
and Laura lets her drink too, and Andy's very wary of it, but then he's like, whatever, because like they're all drinking, and it's honestly gets to be sweet at some point, because then Laura and Andy have this big deep talk, and you're kind of like, okay, maybe things are good, but no, they're not.
Yeah, but
this
even
is still
if
pretty early on.
Even if it gets sweet, it's like, this is still incredibly inappropriate. Like,
yeah,
just because you're nice doesn't mean that you didn't just break the law and give children a ton of alcohol.
Yeah, and then this is the night that we find out that Laura is pissing his pants. Right, like pissing Andy's pants, right?
She can hold it down, dude. She drank with the rest of them, and she's like up and about doing ritual stuff, and they're passed out.
Yeah, we find out that Andy used to get hit by his dad and never told Piper about it, and that's why he like hit Piper, because Piper got more attention or whatever, something like that. And then Laura talks about how her daughter drowned in the pool, and she was also blind, and it's sad. And then they have a girls' day. Piper and Laura have a girls' day, and they tell Andy, don't let Oliver out. So he lets Oliver out immediately, and he's like, you hungry, buddy? Like he's a dog. And let me cut up some fruit for you, but you have to write something down to talk. So then he writes down bird, and he gives him the knife and the cantaloupe. And this was one of the worst scenes of the movie for me. I don't know about you guys, but someone chomping down on a fucking knife, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad for me, honestly.
Yeah, the setup is great. Like, I mean, him letting Ollie out is like the most normal. Like, it's hey, this is a completely normal thing to check up on a child and ask them if they need something to eat, as opposed to, like, I feel like Laura should have given him more instructions, like, absolutely do not feed him, keep him locked in this room,
like he's a gremlin.
It's completely normal. Like, just don't worry about it. He's got a special diet, and he doesn't like to be outside without me. But like, she's like, don't let him outside. And
but also I forgot to mention beforehand, he does smash through the window at one point and like kills the chickens before this.
Right.
Like she should have told them about it. Oh, he's like psychotic and he kills the chickens, so don't let him outside. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what I was confused about is I feel like they show the window later, that same room, and the glass isn't broken.
That's true. They never show someone replace the glass.
So,
but it definitely happened.
You think it definitely happened, or?
No, yeah, it did. Well, the other confusing thing is like, it's a little,
I don't know.
The whole reason for him not eating anything is kind of murky, because all of a sudden that rule is completely gone by the end of the movie. But yeah, so the setup is
Can we go through the ritual and like explain it so that we?
We'll get there. We'll get there next. But like, yeah, this scene, we got to give this scene proper credence of the knife, because
So
he gives him the cantaloupe, and the kid grabs the knife. And you're like,
by the blade.
Maybe don't grab the blade of the knife. And then
he's
the
like,
kid
okay,
starts-
just have it.
Yeah, and then he starts eating the cantaloupe off of it, and you're like, all right, whatever. He turns his back for a second, and all of a sudden, he turns back, and it's a great jump scare. He's just, before he turns around, you start hearing this, like,
Yeah.
and you're like, ugh. And he turns around, and he's just chomping down on the blade.
Like it's
Jumping
like
hard on the blade.
It's a Dorito the wrong way. Like
Right,
it's like it's going through his fucking gums, his teeth, his fucking jaw. It is so awful.
Yeah, you
oh
just
my
see
God.
teeth like getting like jammed out and like gums splitting. It's gross.
Yeah,
so bad.
the Dorito the wrong way. That's so good.
That's what it
Yeah,
feels
so
like.
he's
It
like-
feels like a knife in your mouth. Like
Dude, that
And he
happened to my
tried to
dog
get
last
the knife
night,
away
actually.
from. He's trying to get the knife away from him, and like the kid is giving him a struggle, and
he eventually rips it out of his mouth.
yeah,
Which it's like, what else are you gonna do? You kind of have to. Like, there's no other recourse there. You can't gently get that knife out. That kid wants to eat it.
right.
He wants
and
to.
so,
He wants to eat that knife.
yeah, so everything that Andy does makes sense in this situation. He panics and is like, "Shit, we got to get to a hospital," and tries to take him. And then we find out that there's, this giant chalk circle around the entire property, and once
It's salt.
Ollie is taken across the chalk circle, he starts like having a seizure and freaking out, and that's when Laura comes back and panics. But yeah, after Ollie
But
is outside of the circle, he
before they
starts talking a little bit.
Yeah, he says, "Help me." That's the only thing
Yeah.
he says. "Help me," and then you're like, "Oh no, this poor baby."
Okay, let's talk about the ritual because
Okay.
you guys read, there was words that told
Yeah.
you
There
what.
was like steps.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
I didn't
so
see
here's-
that.
here
I must
all-
have just been too focused on the visuals.
Yeah.
That makes
it was
sense.
like
They were in the corner.
VHS. Yeah, it was VHS like titles. It was pretty small. But yeah, basically explains like, okay, first, I don't think it quite explains like why you have to get the person so hungry or whatever.
No,
But
no.
the whole thing is like, you have to, number one, get a body by killing someone in the same way that the person you're trying to get back died. So
No,
if
no,
they,
no, not yet. No, the first thing you do is you get someone and you fucking do the circle thing on their forehead to like possess them. And that's what they're doing with Ollie. And
Okay.
then you get then you kill the other person.
right. So you kill them. So if they drown, you have to drown a person. If like the person hung, you have to kill someone by hanging them. And then the person that you've hypnotized has to consume the dead body of your loved one.
You
have to, like,
yum yum yum.
Eat up the person that you're trying to resurrect. And then they have to vomit the dead flesh into the new body.
Mm-hmm.
And then that will resurrect.
And then they'll come back to
your loved one.
life. And yeah. So
You
Then
know what?
everyone's happy.
As you've been explaining, it reminds me of kind of early zombie lore where it's not like the undead, but it's like a hypnotized person
Mhm.
yeah.
that will do your bidding and is really hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that, but I can't stress enough how much like how creepy this camcorder ritual like footage is. It's very
It's a snuff
scary.
film.
Like, it's very scary.
It's crazy.
Like it's really like the expressions on people's faces, and the way this person died was by hanging. So it's like it's a very aggressive hanging that they do to this other person. Like, and it's like in this fucking warehouse, and there's like a bunch of bodies. Like, it seems like they've done this a lot of times.
And
like,
there's the guy who they hired to do the ritual is like a big fat naked guy.
like he's drawing the salt circle, like with his ass out.
That's
like,
just horrifying. Like, to die in a warehouse by people trying to do a ritual is one thing, but to have the guy doing the ritual just this naked large man like aggressively hanging you, that's way scarier.
Hey, what's wrong about being a naked large man?
Nothing, but if you're coming at me naked large man, I'm gonna be afraid.
Existence an insult to you?
This goes back to the jail thing of me being like, there are so many men in this world who can overpower me just by their size.
It's true. Yeah, so I mean, the ritual is explained, and you realize, like, okay, so...
Well, it's not explained. It's shown by Laura watching it when she's trying to get Ollie, like, after Ollie goes out of the circle, like, she's trying to possess him again. So she's doing the circle thing on his forehead, and then she's watching the VHS tapes. And so that's how we find all this out. It's show, don't tell.
Yeah, so you find out, okay, Ollie is being... withheld food because he needs to consume
Kathy. Close enough.
He needs to consume Kathy and regurgitate her into...
Well, I thought it was
Piper's
like
body.
presumed that like if he consumes anything else, he'll like consume that soul, and you don't want the soul
Yeah,
of like
that's
the
where-
chicken in like the body or something.
I know.
Like
That's why the rules are a little murky at the end, because
he eats
before the
everything
ending,
in
he's eating everything.
He
He's
makes a
eating live
goddamn mess of that
chickens.
house.
He's eating the countertops. He's eating like pots and pans, and
He is Pika.
I couldn't tell, but was it implied that he ate the social worker too? He
I don't
also
think so.
chomped down on Laura at some point and
Yeah.
like took a chunk out of her. So
Yeah, I love that.
it was going to be a very messy resurrection regardless. There is going to be...
I mean, obviously this was not going to work the way she wanted it to. She was too stupid. She wasn't calculated enough. There was a, like, because, and I think this is because when you're grieving, you do not think correctly. The way that you think is wrong. Like, it's not like your brain is trying to cope with so much trauma and sadness that you think literally incorrectly. Like it's like Joan Didion's book, The Year of Magical Thinking. It's literally magical thinking because it's not real, but you think it's real because it's the only way you can cope. So that's what's happening to Laura. She's like, this is going to be perfect. I'm going to kidnap a kid and possess him. I'm going to fucking foster this girl so I can make her my daughter. Like it's going to go, I'm gonna fuck this kid mentally so he can have a psychotic break and hopefully die before the rich. Like it's not very clean cut. She could have done better. She should have been like the
really see how like lost she is. Like she is gone. She's a crazy person because a caseworker comes to the house to check it out. And
After
Sorry,
Andy-
before we get there, I gotta bring up one other thing. The other thing that's like seems a little confusing. It doesn't explain this in the ritual, but Laura takes the snippet of their dad's hair and feeds it to Ollie.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Why did that have to do with anything?
so he could take on the form of the father, so he could. So Andy could think he's hallucinating and fall in the shower. That was why.
But I don't think it took the... I thought like that was actually his father's ghost appearing to him.
No, because it had the same eyes as Oliver.
But the ghost gives him a message
Yeah.
to save Piper.
Well, because Ollie, who's actually, what is his name, Brendan or something?
It's not Brendan, that's for sure. It was something
Well,
weird.
anyways, like so that's a little murky because I'm like, usually if you're going to perform magic, like you're going to take the hair from your victim or someone involved directly in the ritual,
'cause
not a
later-
related individual.
Later, Ollie mimics Andy. So,
Yeah.
like, this is...
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's questions about that. It seems it kind of descends into like we're gonna just do what we want. But yeah, and then it like gets to the point where
Connor, his name is Connor. Ollie's name is Connor Bird.
Yeah,
there you go.
So that's why he wrote down Bird.
Yeah,
I couldn't understand what a bird was. Okay, so yeah, a lot of stuff happens. I'll rock it through like the next like plot points.
But like Andy, the shower thing, he goes to the hospital because he gets knocked out. And while this is very important, while he's in the hospital, he's in this haze. And Laura says, "When I killed your dad," and he goes, "What?" And she goes, "What? What do you mean? I didn't say anything." She killed the dad on purpose. That was a big
like
point.
To get a blind girl?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That actually makes sense because I was like, what are the odds that her daughter was blind too? It was calculated.
It was her. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, we find out a lot of stuff. So what happens is, Andy freaks out, slips in the shower, goes to the hospital, and then he realizes, Laura tells him, and he realizes like Piper's in a lot of danger and goes back to the caseworker and is trying to convince her.
No, he goes home first. Doesn't he?
After the hospital?
Yeah, because when does Laura punch Piper? He has to be home. He gets just discharged from the hospital and goes home. Laura punches Piper.
That's right.
Oh my God. Could you guys believe that scene? That was another one up there with the knife scene when Laura punches Piper so fucking hard. Yeah. Oh my God. I wanted to cry. That was so awful.
It is really visceral seeing a child get punched in the face. Like,
but it was almost like a Floyd Mayweather fucking like what the hell?
Yeah, and then the other thing that's revealed, there's so much stuff going on in this movie. It's kind of, I mean, we're already hour and 15.
I know, we kind of got to pick it up.
Oh shit.
But I mean, it's also, we didn't even talk about that it was revealed that Andy was abused by their father, and Piper wasn't abused, and he had to like keep that from her.
Yeah, I talked
and
about
that it happened in the shower, like anytime his father took him to the shower, he'd beat the shit out of him, and so that's why he has a phobia about taking a shower.
Right.
And okay, so then it comes back, punches the wall.
He goes and gets the case worker, brings her back, and this scene was just funny to me because the caseworker is going through, and what's her name, the foster mom,
Laura
did a decent job of hiding everything to where the caseworker is like, looks pretty good to me. And then as she's walking out, I forget what she notices, but she's like, oh, that's
her arm bleeding.
Oh yeah, she's like, that's kind of interesting. Are you okay? And she's like, I'm gonna kill the kids and I'm gonna bring my daughter back. It's gonna be great. Like she just breaks immediately.
Yeah.
Well, because everything's been going wrong, right? Because like Ollie got out and like ate all the food in the house and like destroyed the house and like all this shit. And then like Andy's obviously has gone to the caseworker and she had to like throw Piper in this like blind person ball game so she could be out of the house while she sets up for the ritual. It was like all very like, she's very stressed. So like this woman says one thing and she's known her for 20 years. She's just like, yeah, I'm going to kill her. I
think it's kind of believable because like she sees blood and like all of a sudden everything was going fine. It was almost done. She almost got away with it. And then she sees blood. And it's kind of one of those things where if a caseworker sees your arm is bloody and you're trying to hide it, that will require investigation. And so I think Laura knew like this is going to start going very badly. So I need to like.
And the caseworker does go in the shed and also see Ollie eating Kathy's body.
Yeah. And so and then like Laura goes full psycho and runs over the caseworker and Andy and then drowns Andy.
This was the worst. This is what, when I was doing my review and I said I wanted to stop watching it, when Andy died, I was like, there's no hope. There's no hope. There's no hope. If I was Andy's parent, I would have raised him right. And this wouldn't have happened. This wouldn't have happened. I felt so
Yeah.
bad for poor Andy. Oh
There's
my
no
God.
hope at this point, yet the movie tries to end a little more hopeful, which I kind of, again, I just wish they would have just dive bombed into the pit of despair at this point. Because
Yeah.
it's like, you're already so depressed at this point.
There needed to be some reprieve, though. You
Okay,
can't just.
what did you think the ending was going to be?
I thought she was going to drown Piper, and then we're going to watch Ollie throw up in her mouth, and then that would be the end.
I
Uh-huh.
honestly did too. Yeah. What about
Okay,
you, Bryce?
I thought that Piper was either going to get away or die, and something was going to go wrong, and that Andy was going to become Kathy.
Oh,
Like,
because
I thought
he got drowned.
Because he got
because he got drowned. I thought they were setting it
Mm.
up, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's an alternate ending where it's like Piper isn't there. Like, that's the thing, is like Piper. No, wait, she is at that point.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna, because she, like, when Andy died and the caseworker died, like, Piper was out. And yeah, anyways, I thought it was gonna be like the reveal was after all this stuff. Like, I thought Piper was gonna die, and then it was gonna be revealed, like, oh, in desperation, Laura just made Andy her daughter.
I thought
Which-
that was going to be like the backup. I think that was her backup plan. I think that's why she drowned Andy, just in case she couldn't get
Yeah.
Piper like back for some reason. I think it was probably her backup plan, but no, she actually, like, she has it all set up. She just hears Piper say mom
Yeah.
and she stops. And I think it's because it's like, that's not Kathy's voice, and it would never be Kathy's voice.
Yeah.
I don't know. She has this moment of regret and she lets her go. And
Well, I mean, it was one of those things where it's said in the script before Laura says, I would give anything to hear Kathy say mom one more time. That was like when they're the drunk scene. And so when she hears Piper say mom, like, that probably, triggered the lizard brain of like, oh, I am kind of Piper's mom and I'm doing this to her. And so she lets her get away.
and she
I
gets
gotta
away.
say, probably the best visual in the movie, is Ollie. Ollie throughout is super creepy, but at the end, where Ollie is, just walking around in his underwear, and he has this giant pot belly,
Yeah.
God.
just of all the stuff and like the furniture that he's consumed, is
After this
such a creepy image that just works on so many levels.
After this movie ended, I was walking out of the theater. There were these two women who were going, and why was the kid fucking pregnant? I don't understand. And I was like, I wanted to say something, but I was like, you know what? No.
He had chair in his belly.
Yeah, he ate the table. But yeah, so Piper does leave and she gets out and she, flags down a car and, we have to hope that she will be fine. And then Ollie sees a missing poster of himself. And we find out earlier that Laura had a nephew named Oliver who did have red curly hair from a home video, but it's not our Oliver. And we find out his name is Connor Bird because Andy finds a missing poster and he brings it to the house. And when possessed Connor sees that, he walks out of the circle and he survives. He goes, I'm Connor Bird. And it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
But to survive, he has to like have a seizure to get the possession out of his
I
body.
know,
Yeah.
poor baby. This woman's so fucked up. She doesn't like children. She doesn't care about kids. She's a bad woman. She's a
Well,
bad
Bryce, how
woman.
far would you go to save your own daughter?
This far.
Would you hurt children?
Yes, I would hurt other children.
But your daughter's already dead. Like, her daughter is dead. It's not like she's saving anyone. She kept her daughter in a fucking meat freezer.
Yeah, but if Bryce bought a VHS at a yard sale of a Russian ritual that shows
Yeah.
dead people can come back to life, like, I'm just saying, would you?
Probably not.
Would you, and how many children would you kill to get what you want?
How many kids? Oh my god.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a real bummer of a movie.
It's
is what we're trying to
fucking
say.
bummer.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't even mention, but I saw this alone in the theater. Like, it's going to be out of the theater by the time this comes out. But like, there was one showing at my local theater at like 4:30, and so I was the only person in the theater. And even being alone, I yelled out twice in the theater. I was like, "Oh Jesus!" Like when he's chomping on the knife, and when he's like chewing on the countertop. Those two scenes are so effective that it makes me question, like, why are we doing anything else other than just doing teeth trauma in horror movies? Because that is the most effective thing.
Give me teeth and knees all day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just think it would be so funny to be in the theater, not like in the actual theater, but walking down the halls of the movie theater and just hearing Bryce go, "Oh."
Yeah, I think the worst two scenes for me were the knife eating and the punch when Laura punches Piper. But I mean, like, this movie's just fucking crazy, and like, watch it at your own risk. Like, it's like really hard to watch at some points. But I think it's worth it. Yeah. I probably won't see this again. Like, honestly, but it was really scary. But you guys probably loved it. Yeah, one of our listeners, I forget who exactly it is, but Mucking Foron on Letterboxd commented on my review of this movie and said he had to watch King of the Hill all night after this, and I agree. I think that was a really good idea. So shout out to Mucking Foron. And my review on Letterboxd was just what the actual fuck. That's all I wrote. So.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Should we get into these voicemails? Oh, we're gonna be recording so late today.
I know.
Yeah. Well, it's Sydney's episode, and she wants to do voicemails. They want to do voicemail. So,
Bryce,
I've been so good.
You could just call me he at this point. Like, it's just so annoying. Like,
what do you want? Do you want to be called he?
I mean, I'm on. Hello, everyone. I'm on testosterone. Like, I'm getting top surgery. You know, it's at this point.
It's gonna be so much easier.
You told us that you wanted to still be called they.
I know, but it's just getting to a point where it's like, I feel like a real boy now. You know, I didn't feel like a real boy before.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
You're having your Pinocchio moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Horror movie horrors. How many should we play? Should we just do like 5? Like, I can't do a ton. We can't do like an hour's worth of.
Yeah, we still have
voicemails.
2 things to record after this.
All right, we'll figure it out. We'll just go until Sydney says uncle.
I gotta pee so bad.
Who?
Welcome to Horror Movie Horrors. Here's our first voicemail.
Hey guys, it's Troy from Florida. Just finishing up the Sinners review. I had stopped at the spoilers because I haven't seen it yet, but I want to. But it was funny because I was kind of looking up everything about the movie. You guys are going to laugh at this, but if you've ever watched the show Supernatural, the whole premise of this movie is a singular episode in Supernatural, and it made me crack up because I always said to myself that this would be a great full-length movie, and it ended up being a full-length movie now, like years later. But either way, love the show. Sydney, you need to check out my band. I know you said you would on Instagram. Don't mean to call you out, but thanks for keeping it going and keeping everything working with the group. Have a good one.
I will listen to your band. I'm sorry.
By the way, I was really into Supernatural. I was really into Supernatural as a teenager. I watched like 10 seasons of it. They ended up making like 15 seasons, but really good. It's cringe good. It's not good. It's cringe good.
People love that show.
Yeah, I grew up on X-Files, and everything else is a poor imitation of X-Files.
No, Supernatural is its own thing.
It's not the same thing as X-Files at all.
All right, next.
Hey, Sydney. I'm just having kind of a lonely night. I just wanted someone to talk to, so I thought maybe if I caught you before you go to bed, you'd be available to talk to me and maybe give you some sweet horror story, bedtime stories, or something. Oh, I miss you, Sydney. I hope you're doing well. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
What? Who the fuck was that?
It's your
I had
creeper.
no idea Ronald was gay.
Is that Ronald?
That wasn't Ronald. That was the guy that's always creeping on Sydney.
Isn't that Ronald?
I thought
Was
they
it
were one
Ronald?
and the same.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck?
So, this is Beyond the Grave, and I feel like I just don't know what's going on anymore. But, so, Sinners, I thought, great. I would say 10 out of 10. I had no qualms. In this, watching the episode, I don't like looking at you guys. I don't need to. I'll just listen. But
Fair
I
enough.
pop it up and I'm like, have the thumbnail. And I'm like, no one is commenting on Max using like an AI blackface filter. And it was just some other guy who kind of looks like him, but isn't him.
Oh my god!
What are you talking about?
My friend
Also,
Sean!
I left a very salacious voicemail a while back. And I didn't think it was too salacious for this show, but it was very David-coded. And I was like, oh, that would make me so hot if they played it when David was on, and it didn't happen. But also, is there some, I don't know what the tiff is. I didn't watch that big announcement video. I said, that's none of my business. I don't want to hear about it.
That's none of my business.
See ya.
That is so funny that he said that about my friend Sean. You used an AI blackface, Max. So funny.
I didn't even watch that episode. Is he black?
Yes.
That's so funny. I love it's none of my business. I didn't watch the announcement video because it's none of my business. That's
honestly,
so funny.
hell yeah, dude. Like, dudes rock.
All right, next up.
Yeah, it's CJ. Listen, I'll be quick. Max, you have the same background from Death of a Unicorn, which was like 3 episodes ago. It's like, what is it, 2 or 3 episodes later? I'm listening to the others episode right now. Come on, guy. Also, Bryce, thank you for keeping on brand with the movie. You got a nice others background, green screen. And Sydney, your bedroom looks like the basement from Barbarian. And didn't Bryce send you a green screen? Come on, guys, chop it up. Professionalism. We got to get those 1 stars up. That's all I got.
This isn't my bedroom. This is my living room.
I will say, me using the Death of a Unicorn background for multiple episodes was a stylistic choice. It was a bit.
It was funny.
I thought it would be funny, but you're right. I need to stay professional.
There's a piece of hair that just floated across the screen. Okay.
Here's another criticism for Max.
Little old me again. One more thing I forgot. Max, it would help if you don't start every episode with a mukbang. Thank you.
When were you eating?
He's probably talking about I was like drinking things and like opening cans and stuff. You know, I called Bryce. Bryce can verify. I called Bryce a week ago and I said, no more eating on the pod, no more drinking on the pod. We're done. Because I want to get rid of these 1 stars.
Well, I'm fine with drinking on the pod. It's not as bad as
coffee.
eating. Eating is the worst.
No. Drinking out of a cup like this, fine. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to be cracking open cans on the pod anymore.
Yeah, I mean it's something that I don't do. I might do it on the afterpod every once in a while.
I
if we're
definitely
recording.
eat on the afterpod.
Eat on
Yeah.
the afterpod.
Yeah.
But yeah, aggressively crunching in someone's ear sockets is
Really annoying.
rude.
Listen,
It's
we're
rude.
fixing the audio. We have the audio pretty down now.
Yes, I will have mastered this.
and we're not eating on the pod. So please rate us good. We're doing better. We're trying.
Mwah.
Okay.
Do a couple
next
more.
up
right?
is Michael from Central Virginia.
Hey, HMT, it's Michael from Central Virginia. 3 things. Listening to the Eraserhead episode. I haven't seen the movie, but what I'm imagining from your all's description of the baby, it's making me think of some cartoon character, and I don't know if it was, it was either like SpongeBob or maybe like Courage the Cowardly Dog. That there was some character that looked like what you're describing. It's almost like kind of a worm thing and has a head. I think it was SpongeBob, and maybe it sat in like a wheelchair or something, like an old-timey wheelchair.
Chocolate!
Anyway, and it was sort of like wrapped up like a mummy. Yeah. So that's the first thing. I don't know if you all remember that or not. It might be.
I do.
And after prices. So we might be stuck.
Chocolate.
2, CJ, welcome back. We were all awaiting your return, and glad to hear you're still around. Keep calling in because I love the Boston accent. Number 3, on the afterpod, I think it was for Eraserhead, Bryce, you mentioned like loading up a whole bunch of floppy disks for some game. I don't think you mentioned what game though. So what game was that? And then if you ever played Unreal Tournament 2004, which is a first-person shooter, that thing, like the Ultimate Edition, came on, it was like 16 to 20 CDs. And you had to like load one in, start installing, and then it'd be like, put in CD number 2. And then you go through and you put in CD 2. It took so long because not only was it a lot of like disks, but it was a lot of information on those disks. Like, what a floppy disk is like, what, like 3 megs or something like that of information. And so there were like maybe hundreds of megabytes, 700 megabytes on a stupid CD. And it took forever to load, but that game was incredible. So anyway, that's 3 things. Hope you all are doing well. We're finally getting rain down here. And yeah, have a great week. Bye.
Oh yeah, floppy disk had 1.44 megabytes of storage. Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, the answer is almost every game had to be multiple floppy disks if it came on a floppy disk, but like, what was it? What was the one that just had a ton?
I remember when they invented chocolate.
Yeah, I don't know. It was, I mean, everything back in the 90s was on floppy disk. The CD-ROM was such a huge jump up.
Me and Max are like the CD-ROM game gen. Like, I don't know about you, but I played a lot of CD-ROM games on my desktop as a kid.
Yeah.
Barbie.
But yeah, even typing like, game.
Yeah, I mean, even like the CD-ROM games, like you'd have to swap out discs. I think I played like Wing Commander 3 or something that was like had a ton of CDs on it.
I played that I Spy game. It was fucking the best game in the fucking world.
I played an I Spy game too.
With there's the astronaut, there's the castle, and then there's Under the Water, and it's the fucking best. It's the best.
Okay, how are we doing?
Should we do like one more?
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. We could get through them if we really wanted to power through.
All right, just power through.
I gotta piss so bad.
Hi, my name's Kelly Cadigan. I love your guys' podcast. I just recently started watching it, and I've been, like, obsessed.
Fuck yeah.
I started with your Terrifier 3 review, and honestly, even though I super disagree with you guys because I'm a huge Terrifier fan, you guys are just, like, super entertaining. I love the energy, and just, like, listening to you guys talk for hours. Honestly, it's been getting me through the days just, like, listening to you guys talk. So,
that's so sweet.
I know how, like, discouraging it can be if, like, you're consistent with something and you aren't getting like a ton of views. So I just wanted to be someone to call in and tell you that, you know, regardless of how many views you get, you do have people that enjoy your content and quality over quantity. And I just think you guys have really good vibes, and I just enjoy listening to you. So I just wanted to call and let you know that. yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Just keep making awesome content. Okay, bye.
That was
See,
so
Thanks,
sweet.
Kelly. That's so nice.
That shit keeps me going. Like I'm sure it's the same for you guys, but like sometimes we need that, and I really appreciate that you love the pod, and that was really nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
So nice.
And I love how she says Tire Fire 3. Because that is a apt description of Terrifier. As Tire Fire.
Terrifier 3.
Um,
Maybe she's from around here. That's kind of like the accent.
oh, here's Kelly again.
Hi, it's Kelly again. I thought of one more thing I wanted to say. So when I was listening to your Terrifier 3 review, one of you guys said that, oh, you know, you sit through an entire movie like Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3.
Am I wrong? Does it not sound like she's saying Tire Fire?
Terrifier.
Tire Fire.
Like that? Terrifier?
Like a fire of tires?
I think it's a New England accent.
Tire Fire.
Terrifier.
It's being transcribed as Tire Fire. Maybe that's why I'm being influenced by it. But anyways.
And you don't even get one tit shot. And I just wanted to say, I think that's intentional on Damien Leone's part. Like, because he liked one of my tweets one time where I said, you know, I really appreciate how Art the Clown, he isn't focused on like sexualizing his victims at all. It's all about just the torture, you know? So I appreciate how even in Terrifier 1, when we have that scene where he does, you know, the cut down the vagina, it's like it never shows full frontal nudity. You know, he kept underwear on her until they showed it and it was just like prosthetic. You could say the same thing about Terrifier 3. When the shower scene comes on, you only see tits when it's bloody and prosthetic. It's never like I guess I appreciate that he never sexualizes his female cast members. It's always just about the gore, and he never makes it so they have to show full frontal nudity shots. And yeah, I just think that's very intentional. I think in so many horror films, especially slasher films, they sexualize the gore and like sexualize their, you know, female cast. And I just really appreciate that he doesn't do that. I don't know. To me, I mean, I guess from like a straight man's perspective, you'd be like, well, I want to see tits, but I don't know. I don't think it needs to have that. I think that's kind of like an outdated trope. And I think this generation would like appreciate that. So yeah, I also just wanted to throw that perspective out there. It's I don't know, just, you know, different perspectives. Okay, bye.
Art the Clown, certified good guy.
No, I think that actually is a really good point. And we're going to be reviewing a movie that is the complete opposite of that after this. And
I think she's making a good point. Like she's definitely like I didn't even like think of it that way, but I think it is nice to have a director creator that's focused on the gore and not focused on like what hot girl can I kill while she's half naked. Like that is good.
Well,
that is good. Sure.
I think horror got lost in the sauce because they realized, I say they, and I mean like all of horror, realized that the human body is just horrifying, and there's so many terrifying things you can do, especially when like people are dying and being cut up. But then they bring in these people and they're like, hold on, women are so hot, like, and then they lose it and they're like, wait, we were trying to be scary, now we're just filming naked women.
Yeah, you know, sometimes human bodies are nice. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about Celebrity Party Massacre in the pretentious review today, but like it's it's a contrast. I can appreciate both. I understand that, like, yeah, it's exploitational to have just full frontal just so guys can look at tits. And that's like, you know, can be distracting and be like, you know, all I want to see is a chainsaw rip through flesh. Do I have to sit through these beautiful, luscious, milky tits? No. Like some of us just want to see someone be bifurcated
luscious
by
milky.
A rusty machete. And like, yeah, I mean, I think now is the time for those people. If you
hot dog style, baby.
Yeah, if you want to see people split down the center hot dog style with rusty implements and not have any sexuality mucking it up, like, now's your time to shine. That is the culture. If you like tits and being titillated,
Go back to the 80s, baby.
there's decades worth of material for you back in the 80s and
It's
70s.
been done.
All right, next call.
I don't even have that other control.
What's up, guys? It's
for-
Troy from Florida. Haven't checked in a while. Hope all is well. I been using your guys' ratings and reviews to like show my wife and her sister movies because we do scary movie night every Friday. And so far they don't believe me that you guys are a horror movie podcast because the last 3 movies I picked they were saying they were snore fest, which were Nosferatu, Companion, and I forgot the third one, but this one, because I'm watching your Bloodlines review, I know they'll like because we literally just binge watched every single Final Destination, and those movies they find horrifying. But, yeah, excited to hear what you guys come out with next. Always checking you guys out on Spotify. Talk to you soon. Bye.
If they think that
Thanks,
Final
Troy.
Destination are horrifying and then the other movies are boring, then no, I think we're a horror movie podcast. I think. Do you guys think we're a horror movie podcast?
I'm shocked that you wouldn't think Nosferatu was a good movie. I mean, that's just...
Unless it was the one from the 20s, then I get it. But, like, it's still good.
No, I mean, he's talking about the Eggers one. But, I mean, I guess if you're like, oh, it's so boring, it's like, all right.
Bryce,
Whatever.
I just sent a link in the chat.
What is it?
Can you mail that to Sydney, please?
Let's pull it up.
I don't want this.
No, you do.
Go, girl.
You're a fucking dick.
All right.
No, okay, forget about the name of it. I'm just being serious. Then you can...
Yeah,
stand.
but then I would have to like clean it, you know, and like
Yeah,
take
you
it
have to clean it.
around, and I would like
You know, urine is sterile. So, I mean...
Yeah, I guess you don't have to clean it if you don't want to.
I don't know. I think that's just a whole lot of.
Okay, next.
Heyo, it's Dick Mancrease from Chesapeake, Virginia. Sydney, I don't give a fuck where you are in your identity journey. Still hot. Back when David did this whole bad guy WrestleMania heel turn, he stated about wanting a girl with long hair and maybe some makeup. I feel like we got that. We got all of that with our little Mormon manlet, Max.
Not
Max,
now. See?
your misplaced twink rage to go off on Bryce, like you did on the Ichi the Killer episode. You didn't know what the fuck was going on during the end of Presents. You dick dummy. You missed the whole part about the fucking brother being in the mirror. Thank God you're adorable. That was only 85 minutes long, too. How dare you talk to big cheeks Bryce like that? Little twink man who watches movies at 1.5 speed. Bryce was doing this in Baghdad while you was in your fucking dad's bag. Speaking of bags, back to Ichi the Killer. The opening credits of a bucket of beta gravy, burping the worm into a bucket of fellow cast
Burping the
freshwater
worm.
jellyfish is vile. It's pretty fucking gross. But the two of you have soaked.
Wow, that's great.
Wow.
No notes. Dick Mancrease.
That was
bring it.
incredible.
Well, yeah, again, co-hosts are a consistent source of disappointment because Max cut off his locks now. You know,
I got.
we
a
need
haircut,
someone
too.
with long hair. We need diversity on this podcast.
I'm mulleting. See, it's coming.
Yeah.
All right.
I will say I do get things wrong all the time. However, that does not disqualify me from getting mad when Bryce or Sydney gets things wrong.
No, it doesn't, and it's so
I can't
funny
remember
that
what
you
I got
watched.
wrong on Itchy.
You watched one movie on 1.5 speed, and no one will let you live that down.
Right.
I know. Yeah, I've only watched one.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that we
I
know
don't-
about.
I don't specifically download them off of YouTube so that I can do that. I definitely don't do that.
Okay. All right.
No, I'm kidding.
All right.
Kind of.
Last one. We've
Woo!
come to the end.
Come.
What's up, guys? This is CJ up here in the Northeast. And I'm listening to the Arcadian Afterpod And just had to say that Bryce, you made a good case for wanting to be your friend, and now I want to be your friend. It's too bad we live on opposite sides of the country. So I guess I'll just have to stick to listening to the pod, unless I ever move to the West Coast. But it was a very touching after pod. And I agree with a lot of the things that Bryce was saying. Personally, I like to keep my circle small. But if you choose to engage with me and choose to be my friend, much like Bryce, I will make it worth your while. And it was a very touching conversation between you and Max. And I appreciate that. And just wanted to say that wish we could go grab a beer after that conversation. But, makes sense that the elder member of the podcast would be the most level-headed, more life experience, more mellowed out. As Bryce had pointed out, he is in his middle ages. But anyways, the only thing that's on my mind for right now. And I'll talk to you in the next voicemail.
I can't even remember what the conversation in the
I didn't
afterpod
listen
was,
to it. So.
but
I don't remember either.
Yeah, I mean, well, now I just want to be CJ's friend. I feel bad. Feel CJ was reaching out to me.
CJ, we can hang out. I know it's not them, but
I find it interesting that CJ didn't ask to be my friend.
Well, you're just not as good of a friend as I can be.
I think I did say that on the afterpod is that I have things to work on to be a better friend in multiple ways. So,
yeah. I think the thing I said on the afterpod was basically that's a thing that I realized about myself is like, yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of friends. I'm not necessarily like a very outgoing guy, but the people that I associate with, I care about a lot, and I think I'm a good friend and willing to work through, whatever comes up because I care about them. And I want to be close to the people that I'm close with. So,
speaking of friends, who was that lady who joined our podcast the other week?
Benny and the Jesuits? Her?
We should have her back on. I think that was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was cool.
Yeah, she was great. Okay, well, that's it for horror movie Whores.
Whores. Thanks for listening, guys. Call us again, 682-253-4468. Leave us more voicemails because now they're all done. But we love listening to you guys. I'm glad you guys are liking the show. We'll catch you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good day, sir. Good day, sir. You lose. You get nothing.
Is that a raincoat? Yes, it is.
So just took a stroll through the scraggly woods.
He had no face.
Horror.
Wow, that didn't sound good.